So that young man came home all jazzed after the class and said, hey Dad, I just took this great first aid class. They exposed us to some really, really important equipment. The exact same equipment that you're going to be training on here in a few minutes. So you know what, I think it would make some sense for us to invest a few bucks in this. Convinced his dad, they went down to the local RAI sporting goods store where they picked some stuff up. Now, as fate would have it, his father was working in the garage 1 week later. And you have major vessels that run throughout your body, including 2 called brachial arteries. One runs up the inside of each arm. While he was working on his vehicle in his garage, he completely severed his left brachial artery. Blood was pulsating out of his arm. That young man immediately recognized what it was. He happened to be home at the time. He grabbed his tourniquet that he had learned how to pre-stage in one of our classes. He applied the tourniquet to his father perfectly. About 5 minutes later, an ambulance shows up. An EMT and a paramedic get out of the ambulance. They grab all their equipment, they walk into the garage, and they see a gentleman standing right in pain with a perfectly in place tourniquet. They walked up to him and looked at him and said, "Did you put that on?" Smiling through the pain, he said, "No, my son did." All they did was take a pressure bandage, much like this one, and wrap it around the tourniquet to make sure that it wasn't going to be dislodged. Now, at the time that this injury occurred, we only had one level 1 trauma center in all of southern Arizona, and it's right here in Tucson, as many of you know, Banner University Medical Center. So they put that gentleman in the ambulance in Sierra Vista. They drove an hour and a half up the road from Sierra Vista to Tucson, where the trauma team was waiting when they pushed him through the door. The trauma surgeon removes the pressure bandage, takes one look at the perfectly placed tourniquet, and instinctually looks at the paramedic and says, "This is a perfectly placed tourniquet." All 3 of them in unison without hesitation. "We didn't put it on, his son did." Long story short, they carted the gentleman off to surgery with the tourniquet in place. They performed the surgery with the tourniquet in place. Not only did that gentleman live, but he has full restoration of his limb. You are a vitally important impact on the chain of survival. You are just as important as professional rescuers. You are just as important as healthcare professionals. You are just as important as the trauma surgeon that operated on that gentleman. That gentleman is basically a testament to the power of being a trained immediate responder, which is what each and every one of you are going to be